Jeremy Pruitt, in his second visit with the media, said last year, Mark, they had two offensive linemen that were 300 pounds or more. This year they have 15. Now, Mark, think about that a minute. The University of Tennessee, in a single year, to have two offensive linemen 300 pounds or more.
Now, I thought that maybe we reached the crescendo of offensive line weight in the last 10 years, and maybe it was stagnating and we had leveled that off because of the multiple offenses and the spacing and the athleticism required up front, that maybe that figure, I hadn't tracked it, but it just seemed to have come to a place where it leveled off, and that we would, if anything, see slightly slimmer offensive linemen.
What they really wanted to do, and again, we remember Jim Chaney went from Georgia to Tennessee in that very interesting move, and Jared Garantano, the quarterback, said that Chaney has made a difference. Pruitt, Mark, is an old-fashioned coach at heart, and he wants to be able to run the ball behind the road graders on the offensive line, and I think that's kind of what he's saying with that. It's still pretty obvious they're a couple years away from being and having the personnel that they need at this point. But that's one thing that really kind of, when you see the improvements, if we can say that, or the differences in this team, that certainly kind of lead to the forefront. The other thing that lead to the forefront in the media days, Mark, was the fact that I think Missouri may be a lot of people's dark horses. I'm not saying they're going to win the East by any stretch of the imagination. That's still Georgia and Florida. But when you look at Missouri's schedule, they go to Wyoming, and Mark, after that, they've got an unbelievable, in this day and age, 5 straight home games. So if they can win the majority of those games, and then they've got several road games in November, they like Kelly Bryant. They think their defense is going to be better than people believe. So, and Odom was optimistic with that. So the other thing that come out of that, or another thing, would be more optimism than I expected for this team in Missouri.
And when you only play 2 of the 7 teams in the other division, it's key who you play.
Yes.
They're playing Ole Miss. That's their round robin selection,
right,
that comes up in the rotation. And then they're paired against Arkansas, which is, of course, expected to be once again the worst team in the league. So they have the easiest road, at least as we sit here in July. It appears to be a foregone conclusion that Ole Miss and Missouri are most likely the 2 worst teams in the other division. So that's the best path.
Absolutely. So, and that's going to help them. And look, when they play Georgia, Mark, to the mid to latter point of the season, they'll either be undefeated or maybe 1 loss. So the point here is they can make a lot of noise because of just what you illustrated with the schedule, and may not be as good a team as people think they're going to be.